destruction. When the fourth Malach sounded, a third of the sun was struck, and a third of the moon, and a third of the stars, so that a third of them were darkened.
Woe! Woe! Woe to the inhabitants of the earth! Because of the other blasts of the trumpet of the three Malachim who are about to sound.
There appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun with the moon under her feet, and upon her had a crown of 12 stars. And there appeared another wonder in heaven, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns.
Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea! For the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because she knows that she has but a short time.
The following takes place between 8:45 a.m. and 9 a.m. And when the dragon saw that she was cast into the earth, she persecuted the woman which brought forth a man. To the woman were given 2 wings of a great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness, into her place, where she is nourished for a time, and times, and half a time, hidden from the face of the serpent. The serpent cast out of her mouth water as a flood after the woman, that she might cause her to be carried away by the flood. But the earth helped the woman, and the earth opened her mouth, and swallowed up the flood which the dragon cast out of her mouth. The dragon was enraged with the woman, and went to make war with those who forsook her seed by keeping the laws of Yahweh and having the testimony of Yahshua Messiah. I stood upon the sand of the sea and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns. And upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads were the names of blasphemy. The beast which I saw was similar to a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. The dragon gave him his power, and his throne, and great authority. I saw one of his heads wounded to death, but his deadly wound was healed. All the world followed the beast. They worshipped the dragon which gave power to the beast, and they worshipped the beast, saying,
Who is like the beast? Who is able to make war with him?
There was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies, and power was given unto him to make war for 42 months. He opened his mouth in blasphemy against Yahweh, to blaspheme his name, his kingdom, and those who dwell in heaven. By the general assembly it was given unto him to make war with the saints and to overcome them. Authority was given him over all tribes, peoples, languages, and nations. All who dwell upon the earth whose names have not been written from the foundation of the world in the book of life will worship him. If any man has an ear, let him hear. He who is for captivity will go into captivity. He who is for the sword must be killed with the sword. Herein is the patience and the faith of the saints tested. I saw another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb, but he spoke like a dragon. He exercised all the authority of the first beast before him to nudge the people to worship the first beast, whose deadly injury was healed. He does great wonders, so that he makes fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men, and deceives those who dwell on the earth by those acts of power which he had authority to do in the sight of the beast, saying to those who dwell on the earth that they should make a likeness of the beast, which had the injury by a sword and did live. And he had power to give life to the likeness of the beast, that the likeness of the beast should both speak, and cause that as many as would not worship the likeness of the beast should be killed. And he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, that they should with informed consent give to themselves a mark upon their right hands, or in their foreheads, that no one might buy or sell unless he had the mark or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him who has understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man. And his number is 666. I looked and saw the Lamb standing on Mount Zion, and with him 144,000 having his name and his Father's name written in their foreheads. I heard a voice from heaven, like the voice of many waters, and like the voice of a great thunder. I heard the harpers harping with their harps. Before the throne and the 4 living creatures and the elders they sang a new song. No man could learn that song but the 144,000 who were redeemed from the earth. These are the ones who are not defiled with women. These are the ones who follow the Lamb wherever he goes. These were redeemed from among men, the firstfruits to Yahweh and to the Lamb. In their mouth was found no falsehood, for they are without fault before the throne of Yahweh. I saw another Malach fly in the midst of heaven, having the everlasting message to preach to those who dwell on the earth, to every nation, tribe, language, and people, saying with a loud voice,
Reverence Yahweh and give glory to him, for the hour of his judgment is come. Worship him who made heaven and earth and the sea and the fountains of waters.
There followed another Malach, saying,
The great Babylon is fallen because she made all nations drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication.
The third Malach followed them, saying with a loud voice,
If any man worships the beast and his likeness, and receives his mark in his forehead or upon his hand, the same will drink of the wine of the wrath of Yahweh, which is poured out without dilution into the cup of his indignation. He will be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy Malachim and the Lamb. The smoke of their torment ascends up forever and ever. They have no Sabbath night and day who worship the beast and his likeness, and whoever receives the mark of his name. In this manner are the saints purified, by keeping the laws of Yahweh, in conformity with the faith, as Yahshua Messiah.
I heard a voice from heaven saying to me,
Right, blessed are the dead, the ones dying in the Messiah from now on. Yes, says the Spirit, because they will rest from their labors, by keeping the Sabbath, and their works do follow them.
I looked and saw a white cloud. Upon the cloud one sat like the Son of Man, having on his head a golden crown, and in his hand a sharp sickle. Another Malach came out of the heavens crying with a loud voice to him who sat on the cloud.
Thrust in your sickle, and reap, for the time is come for you to reap, for the harvest of the earth is ripe.
He who sat on the cloud thrust in his sickle on the earth, and the earth was reaped. Another Malach came out of the heavens, he also having a sharp sickle. And another Malach came out from the altar who had power over fire and cried with a loud cry to him who had the sharp sickle, saying,
Thrust in your sharp sickle and gather the clusters of the vine of the earth, for her grapes are fully ripe.
So the Malach thrust in his sickle into the earth and gathered the vine of the earth, and cast them into the great winepress of the wrath of Yahweh. The winepress was trodden outside the city. Blood came out of the winepress up to the horses' bridles for a distance of 1,600 stadia. I saw another sign in the heavens great and marvelous, 7 Malachim having the 7 last plagues, for in them the wrath of Yahweh is brought to completion. I saw a sea of glass mingled with fire, and those who had prevailed over the beast, over his likeness, his mark, and over the number of his name, standing on the sea of glass having the laws of Yahweh. And they sing the song of Moshe, the servant of Yahweh, and the song of the Lamb, saying,
Great and marvelous are your works, Father Yahweh Almighty. Just and true are your ways, O King of saints. Who will not reverence you, O Yahweh, and glorify your name? For only you are holy. For all nations will come and worship before you, for your judgments are true.
After that I saw the tabernacle of the testimony in heaven was opened. The 7 Malachim came out of the tabernacle, having the 7 plagues and clothed in pure white linen, and wearing golden girdles about their chests. One of the 4 living creatures gave to the 7 Malachim 7 golden bowls full of the wrath of Yahweh. The tabernacle was filled with smoke from the glory and power of Yahweh. No man was able to enter into the tabernacle until the 7 plagues of the 7 Malachim were completed. I heard a great voice out of the tabernacle saying to the 7 Malachim,
Go your ways, and pour out the bowls of the wrath of Yahweh upon the earth.
The first went and poured out his bowl upon the earth, and there came a noisome and grievous sore upon the men who had the mark of the beast, and upon those who worshipped his likeness. The second Malach poured out his bowl upon the sea, and it became as the blood of a dead man, and everything in the sea died. The third Malach poured out his bowl upon the rivers and fountains of waters, and they became blood. I heard the Malach of the waters say,
You are righteous, O Yahweh, who is, was, and will be, because you judge this way. For they have shed the blood of saints and prophets, so you have given them blood to drink. Such is their due.
I heard another out of the altar say,
May this be so, Father Yahweh Almighty, true and righteous are your judgments.
The fourth Malach poured out his bowl upon the sun, and power was given to him to scorch men with fire. Men were scorched with great heat and blasphemed the name of Yahweh, who had power over these plagues, and they did not repent and give him glory. The fifth Malach poured out his bowl upon the throne of the beast, and his kingdom became full of darkness, and they gnawed their tongues because of pain and blasphemed Yahweh in heaven because of their pains and their sores, but did not repent of their works. The sixth Malach poured out his bowl upon the great river Euphrates, and its water was dried up, so that the way of the kings of the east might be prepared. I saw 3 unclean spirits, like frogs, come out of the mouth of the dragon, and out of the mouth of the beast, and out of the mouth of the false prophet. For they are the spirits of demons who perform signs, who go forth to the kings of the whole inhabited earth to gather them to the battle of that great day of Yahweh Almighty. The Malak said,
Behold, I am coming as a thief in the night. Blessed is he who watches, and keeps his garments, or he will walk naked and all will see his shame.
He gathered them together into a place called Harmageddo. The seventh Malak poured out his bowl into the air, and there came a great voice out of heaven from the throne saying,
It is done.
Next time on the Revelation, there were voices, thunders, and lightnings.
Come, I will show you the sentence of the great whore that sits upon many waters, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, while worshipping the Elohim, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication.
The woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold, precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication.
It is done.
Support the Century channel by clicking the like button, subscribing or following, and directly through Patreon with the link listed in the description below.